Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another Tube. And we're going to be talking about Paradise, the first half of this season or series. It could be a limited series. Episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's only 8 episodes. I'm here with the lovely Winnie. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. I've just stuffed myself on pizza.
Oh, that sounds good.
Anyways, oh yeah, it was all right. It was an average pizza. I'm not trying all these different places now. Um, Regardless, we have both been watching this series. I watched it simply because it seemed quite riveting from all the adverts that were going around. I just finished watching American Primeval, so I needed to jump on board something else, and this is the one I decided to jump on. Winnie decided to watch it because she loves what's his face again?
Sterling
Sterling
K.
K.
Brown.
Brown, the lead actor of the show, playing Xavier Collins. So, spoilers ahead, but I'm just gonna give a quick premises of what this series is about. It's it's it, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a who's done it. I think after this particular most recent episode, we're kind of getting an idea of maybe who has done it. But
Mm-hmm.
we have the president of the United States has been killed, and his most loyal Secret Serviceman who has his back, his version of Gerard Butler, basically from the Fallen Down movies, is comes across his body first and does a quick investigation before calling it in. And nobody really knows who has killed the president of the United States, but life must go on. But we do come to realize, and a lot of hints were given in the first episode, that life is going on in somewhere where we kind of weren't expecting a little bit. We've given
Mm-hmm.
this entire series two very unusual perspectives. Not only is it a thriller murder investigation sort of thing that we've seen many times before in various forms, but it's also got like a science fiction Fallout Truman Show almost. And I don't mean in the sense
Mm-hmm.
of Truman Show in a live TV aspect, but more in fact of like a
Like
world.
Big Brother, like 1984,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, exactly. A world enclosed. More to do with Fallout, if anything. If you've seen that, yeah, along those particular lines, and that really came out of left field at the very end of the episode. And the funny thing is, the hints were there. So before we start talking about this first 4 episodes, have you found stuff so far?
I am loving it. Like, I'm trying to hold my excitement for it because you know how money and time and whatever goes sometimes with these things, but I am loving it. Yeah, I first wanted to watch it because I just thought it was going to be like Scandal. I don't know if you saw that. You know, a bunch of stuff
Yeah,
happens in Washington D.C. and there's like some people that are pulling the strings and you're watching, which is just as riveting. But then you start watching this one and you realize, oh, it's that, but like not really.
yeah. I was really blown away, when we realized where they were, and with the
Hmm.
first 4 episodes, we start to layer away with the supporting cast. I mean, the first episode was pretty much about Xavier and his relationship with the president of the United States.
Hmm.
The second episode, we come across Sinatra, an unusual name to give to a character, in my opinion. But this is like the lady who's kind of in charge with the development of what is the name of the location? I mean,
Oh,
it's got
Paradise, I think. Is it just called Paradise?
it could, well, yeah, maybe. I think Paradise is like the unique name for a location like theirs, but she was the person who helped create the bunker. Not exactly. She was definitely in charge of the development, even though she might not have been
Right. I think she
behind it.
just had a shit ton of money from her startup. From her, she said she did cloud storage startup. So I think she just had a whole bunch of money for that, and she had just heard that talk about the world's going to end soon, so we got to do something about it. And she lost one of her children, so she was like, I can do this. I can fix this.
Yeah, and we do see that very early on in the second episode with her losing one of her children, and it
Hmm.
kind of maybe changes her to sort of like the character she kind of becomes to a degree. She's a lot more calculating, a lot colder, gives a damn a little bit less. And
Hmm.
well, we also get to meet the psychiatrist who she ends up just buying her services, like, because to help her get through everything. And yeah, we get involved with her. A lot of these episodes just generally flashback city. But you get somebody like James Marden playing the president of the United States, and he gets killed off at the very beginning of the episode. You don't even see him walking around at the beginning, but he's just dead. And then we just obviously we get all the flashbacks in his relationship with Xavier and stuff like that. And obviously Xavier has a chip on his shoulder with the president of the United States, which is why he was actually a culprit. That's only because when it came to going into that bunker, his wife never joined them, only him and his kids. And his wife was behind to die.
And do we know why that was? Why she got left behind? Was it an accident or was it on purpose?
We haven't got all the details yet, but from what I've gathered so far, is that she just couldn't make it. She's not like I think could be a scientist or somebody of some type of intelligence where she might have been needed elsewhere, and she couldn't make it back in time. And because of that, I mean, I think he also has an issue with the president because she didn't probably have to be in the situation that she was in, and she could have been with her family, but she was probably ended up having to work, which is why she ended up dying. And that's why Xavier doesn't, had a grudge against the president, which is why he was initially accused. And that's the funny thing, because I really thought we would be getting a very long-winded story of him being the main culprit, maybe courtroom drama, or I mean, all of these things, but it's not gone that way whatsoever. Like it's, my expectations for this is just totally changed from what I expected it to be to where it's gone right now, simply because of the world they're currently inhabiting. And once again, when we get flashbacks of that with Sinatra and them building that world and everything, 25,000 people, in one place. For somebody who drives around a lot and goes to different parts of the United Kingdom, who's quite well traveled as well, I don't know if I could last in a place like that, Winnie. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, I live in pretty much Washington, D.C. right now, and I'm thinking about the population there, and I can't imagine 25,000 people in one place. That's crazy. I don't know, like my mind, because I don't know, I overanalyze things. How the hell is that possible in a mountain in Colorado? Like
I just want to quickly just to sidetrack a little bit, is that all of these inventions that we're trying to make for ourselves now, like artificial meat and stuff like that, it's scenarios like that where you need artificial meat or a petri dish meat, so to speak, cloned meat, however you want to look at it, because who can be asked to graze cattle all the time? Can you afford to do that with the land you've got? Wouldn't it be just to clone the meat,
The daughter, I just watched the last one. I don't know if you remember the cheese fry episode when he first talks to her. It's made out of some sort of nut, cashews maybe. And then the daughter's
the nut cheese. Yeah, the nut cheese.
The daughter's like, here's or gag on this bacon or something. And so I'm wondering if they don't even have meat at all, and it's just everything is all plant-based. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's better than nothing, I guess, as well. But they've got a ton of alcohol, which I also found out in the most recent episode. They got a lot of that. So we go into the third episode, and we quickly pull up the name of the episode. It is called, come on, The Architect of Soul of Well-Being. And this episode, we get more information on Xavier, whether he did it or not. Very quickly, we get to see the more of the psychiatrist basically telling him don't just admit to certain things, don't hold it in, because he's on a lie detector machine. So he has to. Obviously he didn't kill the president, so he passes the machine with flying colors. But he is obviously trying to find out what the hell's going on. In episode 3, he gets a lot closer with the psychiatrist as well, and he does actually genuinely believe that Sinatra has something to do with it. And I didn't know if that was necessarily the case. I was actually, before Billy became a suspect in episode 4, I actually thought Billy could be sometimes it's always the person closest to you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it could be
Yeah,
something like
absolutely.
that, or it could be the psychiatrist or whatever. But very soon we kind of figured out that it was
Uh-huh.
it was definitely
Jane.
Sinatra, and they're not hiding the fact that Sinatra's got um a
Yeah,
part to play on
because
this. We get
as soon
yeah
as the president dies, the she Xavier is watching all of this unfold sort of in the like backstage, I guess you'd call it. They're already inaugurating it or whatever, a new president, and
yeah
he's watching her and like, holy crap, she's no good. That's when he figured it out. I don't know when that was, but
she is the Dick Cheney of all of this.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
she's the puppet master. She doesn't want to be
Or
front and center either.
uh-huh. Can I argue she's
Yeah.
the Elon Musk?
Oh yeah. That even yeah, but Elon Musk is front and center. But yeah, but fair enough. I'll definitely say that. I'm sure everyone knows who she is, and you kind of find out during the course of episode 3, especially that moment where where Xavier is just about to hit on the shrink, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like, they're in the moment, and she's like telling him, yeah, I think your buddy Billy, he's a bad guy. And I'm thinking, damn, like what a way to cop block me at this very moment. That's from a man's
Exactly.
perspective.
Like,
From a man's
that is my
perspective,
best friend in the
personally.
whole world. He's my kid's uncle, and you're gonna tell me this right now?
Yeah, exactly. And I really thought, okay, let's see what happens. But I guess he was so much in the bloody moment that he not only finished the deed, he woke up next to her the next day in
Uh-huh.
episode 4. And then we start to follow Billy around. And Billy, he was brought up quite roughly. We don't know who his parents are. He was brought up by his uncle. Well, his uncle just backhanded him, when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
Like, he just like
Like,
hit him, like, like it wasn't even his fault. The bloody dog spooked the bloody deer, and yeah, he
mm-hmm.
blamed it on his nephew. And I guess obviously he got pushed and pushed and pushed, and he got told to put the dog down. I think they were going to eat the dog, which is
I'm
crazy.
right. Ugh, I don't know exactly what was gonna happen, but I was like, I'm like, man, I cannot watch another show where they kill a dog. I cannot do this. And then when they
Yeah,
flipped the script, I was like, yes.
yeah, and he ends up in juvie, and you find that pretty. I guess being brought up by his uncle, he knows how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he's in juvie, like some guy just comes up to him, picks up, and he immediately retaliates. Doesn't hesitate for a second. Beats the shit out of that kid. And I think he just spends his entire life, or most of his entire youth, his best years, his teenage years, his early 20s, whatever it may be, he spends them in jail. And
Mm-hmm.
but here the moment he comes out, and by the way, this is all flashbacks, more flashbacks. He comes out, and he gets a chance to work with with this group of guys who just want maybe very rough, strong guys, and maybe rehabilitate them to a degree, but still make them useful. And he works with these guys, and it's still in the back of my head. I'm thinking to myself, I don't care how much of a badass he is. He's an
Mm-hmm.
ex-con. He will never ever be a fucking Secret Service agent, even if he was the
Right.
greatest killer on earth. You know what I mean?
A
Um,
CIA agent, maybe, but not a Secret Service agent.
Yeah, not looking after the president, literally.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
And the way that they portrayed him at the first couple episodes is he's like cool, somebody's cool uncle, somebody's nice guy. Like,
Yeah,
he's on the toilet for the first episode, for like the first half of the first episode, just
yeah,
making jokes.
exactly.
Like then to
Uh,
show
it,
all this is kind of backwards a little bit, I guess. I don't know. It was crazy.
No, but I'm glad they actually explained that how he got to his position, because it was Sinatra. Sinatra needed a killer, needed
Mhm.
certain people to do dirty deeds, and that's
Mhm.
how he ended up getting the position that he did. From through her, and it's weird how intimidated he was by her, because we do find out after Xavier confronts him and he pleads to him that, look, I brushed you off earlier because I was with my girl, and of course I didn't do that, and of course I didn't kill the president. I love your family; they're like my family and stuff like that. And Xavier sees between the lines and believes him. But
Mhm.
regardless, William, that's his name. He's done some bad.
Mhm.
He's done some bad shit, and we see in the flashback. Well, what we see earlier is that the president a few years ago tried to send some people outside to see if they could maybe live
Mhm.
outside again. One of them happened to be the wife of the bartender who we got familiar with in this episode as
Mhm.
well. Very clever writing. I like it all. It was very, very, very
Mhm.
well done. And then he was sent out there to kill them so that they don't come back. And so because Sinatra wants everybody to live in this utopia. She doesn't
Mhm.
want them to leave the bunker. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so that's what we got from
I,
that,
I
which was
think I think he even
yeah.
takes his mask off out there, like, oh, she's right.
Yeah, you could breathe. They all could breathe. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, it was shitty and all of that, but they could breathe. But by the way, before I continue, actually, there's something I forgot, because in episode 2, when we it was like a flashback of like 10 years, like
Mhm.
that college professor was talking about how there'll be like a massive tidal wave or a tsunami, and that
Yeah.
will end the world and stuff like that. But it looked like there was more of like a nuclear fallout, which is what happened. It felt like there was like an explosion. So
Yeah.
it wasn't really a tsunami. It was probably like some sort of nuke, which is what's caused. Especially when you go back outside and you see, like, it looks like a nuclear winter. You
Uh-huh.
know what I mean? But there's
Right.
no radiation. So yeah, maybe people can go outside, but the Sinatra said that the world is third world now. It's you probably can't grow any crops on it. There's no sunlight. It seems like there's no sunlight. So they're
But
probably
if
better off
people
on the
want to,
inside.
like, I feel like people should be able to go out and try if they want to. And like they
If
can't
they
come back.
Yeah.
This is what, you get to leave. You do what you do. If you make it, awesome. If not, we're not taking you
I
back.
think what Sinatra is worried about is that if too many people leave, it would fuck up um their world, because they might
Right.
need all these people to keep it running,
Mhm.
and all of that. And then in a way, if the world outside is habitable again, then it might lead people to their world, as well,
Oh
people
yeah,
who
that's
don't know
true.
about that as well, so, and all of that. But
Yeah,
fair enough.
she did say something about, I don't remember who said it, but somebody said something about we're not making enough babies or something. So that's also true. We
Yeah,
need them.
yeah, exactly. So basically, he was used as an assassin. William was, to
Mhm.
kill off all these scientists who went on the outside world. They never came back. That was that moment where he's drinking with the bartender and he sees the picture, and we get that flashback, and you realize it was him who killed him. That was great. How it was
Mhm.
all planned out and everything. Um,
I like sort of
and it,
like it's different the way that they're going back into the flashbacks and then bringing it back to the future. It's different than something I've seen in a long time. So like I kind of like the way
I
they go in and
I
out.
agree. I'm not the best. I'm not the biggest fan of flashbacks. Sometimes I want to progress, but I understand that in order to piece things together, because we are starting in this utopia, that you
Mhm.
have to go back, to understand what the hell's going on. Without doubt, in my opinion, Sinatra is the one who, she might not pull the trigger, but she got the president killed, so she could truly
Mhm.
run things, because she might have felt inferior to him. Um,
Well, and
but
he
at the
knew.
same,
He knew that
yeah,
outside you could breathe outside. So she couldn't have
yeah,
that, and he was drinking and drinking and drinking. One of these days he was going to slip. So she couldn't
yeah,
really trust him anymore. So I think that's
yeah,
why
he
she
was
had him
drinking a
killed.
lot.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Billy has regrets. William has regrets, for what he did, but he doesn't want to be this puppet anymore. And he's trying not to be intimidated by Sinatra, and mentions that says to Sinatra that you can bring the biggest person ever, and I'll take him down. And I had a feeling that his girlfriend would be the one who would take him down. I had a feeling, like because the
Mm-hmm.
twist incoming, that would make sense. And she was cold blooded. And at one point, I thought, is his girlfriend Sinatra's daughter? But then no, she'd be too old. She's not. Her kid
Yeah,
was relatively young, so no, she hasn't grown up to be that age yet. So
correct.
that's not
Yeah,
necessarily the
but
case.
they kind of look like each other, so
Yeah, they got
I'm
yeah.
interested to learn about this girl now because why? Like we thought she was this scared little girl. I'm like, how the like my whole time watching this, I'm like, how the heck did she become a Secret Service agent? She can't. She's afraid of her own shadow. Like that's not a person you'd want to be a Secret Service agent.
And she was
And
very and she was very very cold and macabre, like Machiavellian, like when it came to killing off her partner, like
uh
no
huh,
shit's given.
yes,
Poisoned him, got the gloves out. I think she killed the president, by the way.
uh huh.
you
I do
know
too.
I I think she was given the orders by Sinatra, and she did the deed.
Uh huh.
So
I
that's
think
just
so
my
too.
opinion. But
Yeah.
I think also now, I think Xavier might still take the fall for the death of the president now that Sinatra has taken away the president and his wingman in Billy, who had his
Mm-hmm.
back. There might not be many people left. Maybe the shrink, but she could be playing him as well.
Yeah, we
You
don't
know,
for real know because why did she lead him
yeah,
towards Billy? We don't actually know if the president said Billy did it.
yeah,
We just know that that's what she says he said. So we don't know
yeah.
if she's on his side or not. I'm kind of like I'm worried about him. I'm worried about his kids. Like this is not a good place to be in. And even Robinson says, "Hey," which is the lead Secret Service agent says, "Hey, Xavier's on Sinatra's bad side. Stupid cat. She's on his bad side, and that's not a good place to be. So I think was that leading into us being him being the fall guy or what? And how are they going to
I thought it
explain
was a bit of a
Billy?
red herring. It was a bit weird, like how they did it, because like in the previous episode, there he is standing outside Xavier's house, and he's got like a mean look on his face and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I think we were trying to, and I think okay, we're only 4 episodes, 3 episodes in. This is definitely a red herring, in my opinion. But I think now that all the cards are on the table regarding who did the killing, God damn it! If they actually make out that Sinatra was this person who wanted to call the shots but only took advantage of the president's death and never killed her in the first place, that'll really piss me off. I want Sinatra to be the killer. I don't want any more unnecessary twists and stuff like that.
Right.
That'll be very very annoying. It's all for me. I think the second half of the season now it'll be about Xavier not taking the fall and not getting caught, but he's basically in a giant prison. He can't really escape. He's stuck inside this world. I think everyone's going to
Mm-hmm.
turn on him. If they want it to stay bright, they will. They have to. The sunlight is artificial. They can make it daylight for the whole bloody day.
Mm-hmm.
And nowhere for him to hide. I believe they said there was no guns in
Yeah,
this. In
he
that,
said,
yeah,
remember, he gave her when he
the
was doing the
president
lie
said that.
detector, he said, whatever this counts as for a gun. And it looks like
Yeah.
a taser or something because it was yellow. I'm assuming it was a taser.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. So, but yeah, because he did, yeah, because when he was going into the facility, he had to put his gun in that box. There might be a place where all the guns are kept. Yeah, there is a possibility, but yeah, so
yeah,
yeah, but
at the
that was
very beginning, the
yeah.
president, somebody says the president was shot with, which I hate this, with a 3D printed deal. Because I have
Oh
all mine
yes,
3D
yeah,
printed.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, first off, I'm mad just because 3D printers are my favorite thing in the world. But second off, like, they don't, how do they have, now that we know that they're in a dome, how do they have 3D printers? What, like, do they have access to all of that stuff?
I'm probably sure they do have access to 3D printers, which is you know, in that particular scenario and world that they're living in, something like a 3D printer would be absolutely ideal in how they operate. You know, everyone who works there and everyone who lives there in some capacity is either a scientist or related to a scientist or an
Right.
engineer or something, or in
But I
Xavier's
would
case,
think
the
that
Secret
in this
Service.
society that like this, that's so well put together, those things would be under lock and key. They wouldn't want everybody just to have a 3D printer. So that's what
Yeah,
I was thinking about. Like how if you want only the engineers would have 3D printers. So then that's who I was thinking of.
yeah. Yeah, that is the case as well. Remember, this is also like the first murder that's happened. You know, the
Yes,
president being killed,
in two
and now
years.
Billy being killed is the second murder. Well, we've
Hmm.
seen that one happen. Oh,
And the
actually, not even
daughter
the second murder.
knows. Xavier's daughter knows, and she's not stupid. So I don't know if she's gonna be part of this, like unraveling this mystery on how the hell they get out of here or what. But I like she loved Billy, you know, he was really literally like an uncle to her. And so I think
Yeah,
that's gonna be an added extra little thing to help her dad. Um
and
I'm
there's the
worried
president's
about
son as well.
yeah,
The
that's true
president's
too.
son.
I don't know if he knows yet, but the president all the president's son knows is that his dad was killed. He doesn't know extra details because
Even his
Sinatra doesn't
wife
want him
is
to know.
still. Even his ex-wife is there
Mm-hmm.
as well. And on top of that, there's one person who'll be on his side once he realizes, you know, that Xavier didn't kill the president, and that's the president's mistress, that black lady who's
Yes, which
of
is
Secret
the head
Service,
of the
because she,
CIA or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. And I believe, you know, she's kind of like not she's like very skeptical on everything. She's not taking anybody's side, but
Mm-hmm.
she could easily be manipulated to believe that Xavier did it, and then she'll probably want revenge against Xavier. But if she really truly
Mm-hmm.
finds out what the truth is, she'll be on Xavier's side, because she was obviously having an affair with the president. She likes
Right.
or loves the president,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think she killed him. I definitely don't think it was her. It could be, that could be a twist, but I don't think it was
Mm-hmm.
her. You know,
I don't think
that's
it was
just
her
my,
either. I think he
yeah,
needs in a show like this, he needs at least one or two allies because they killed off Billy. You know, Jane
yeah,
obviously isn't his friend like he thought she was. So I think he's gonna need her some other allies, otherwise it feels too stuck. Too
yeah. So we got Sinatra. Jane is obviously not good. Gabrielle is the shrink, I believe, and
yes.
Nicole is the girl on the side, CIA lady, and obviously the
Mm-hmm.
first lady as well. She could be an ally, you know, too. The ex-wife, she could be an ally, but at the end of the day, you know, regardless of her falling out with her husband, I don't think she wanted him dead. You know, it's the father of
No,
her son. You know what I mean? So,
exactly. And even in that conversation that she had with Xavier before the vice president or whoever he was inaugurated or whatever, um, she was sad about it. She was like, "Yeah, I was not planning on staying with him. I have to be pretend I'm this happy wife or whatever." But at the same time, like, you know, I this is terrible, you know. So I think maybe
yeah,
you're right, and I think she might have access to some paperwork that maybe we didn't know she had.
yeah, yeah, I think so too. And the only reason why the shrink told, this is why I'm always a bit worried about the shrink, because he said like, you got to be, the president told me to be careful of Billy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but
That
and
was
that's what concerns me, you know, what I
that was
mean,
kind of a
about,
lie, right? Like,
yeah, because
I don't know if it was a straight out lie or if that's what he just thought and she actually said, but I don't know. That's why it's crazy. That's why the shrink is not great.
yeah, exactly. All right, so I think the next episode we're gonna probably be getting some. I don't know if we're necessarily getting some hijinks and chasing. That might happen in the episode after that, but I do feel that Xavier is going to start initially before he feels like he has to run, and he might have to run.
Mhm.
He's going to start feeling the world coming down on him. I think he's going to be devastated by the death of Billy,
Uh-huh.
and then he's going to find that out quite soon, and then he's going to start pointing fingers. He
He
can
does
see through the bullshit. Yeah.
In the trailer for the next episode, he does like stand outside the camera that he knows that Sinatra's looking through. He's standing there looking at her like, "Come at me, B word," you know. So
Yeah. Yeah.
like either like I know
Exactly.
you killed Billy, or I know that something weird is happening and I'm going to figure it out. But either way, he's looking at her like, "Yeah, I know something."
I wonder how many more assassins she's got, because I do thought she had a few. No- And
Mhm.
I do think we're gonna get, like, that Olympus has fallen, London has fallen
Mhm.
style moments in this show. When it comes to Xavier having to kick ass and all of that. So I expect that to happen at some particular point. Great. So you
Mhm.
wanna, like, rate each episode individually, or you wanna just rate the
We
first
can
half of the
do each
season?
episode individually. When do they come out? Can do it the next day,
Uh,
maybe.
Um, well, I mean, they came out every week. So, like, the last episode came out, episode 4 came out on the 4th of February, which was 2 days ago.
Okay, so yeah,
So,
we can do it on Wednesdays,
no,
maybe if you want.
no, I mean, no, what we could do, we'll review the first half of this season, then we'll do the X4, binge the X4, and we'll review
Okay.
that the second half.
One thing I do want to
So,
say is I don't Sinatra for me, like I love her sort of because she originally went into this trying to save the world. I don't think she's all bad, but now that she's got all of this power, I think she once is desperately trying to save it. Like I don't really think she's like the whole devil, but she is not good. So that's the
yeah,
thing I want to
I
say.
feel her needs overcome the needs of everyone else. She doesn't care what other people want. What is she?
Mhm.
It only it matters for her, which is why she put herself in this particular position with her investment and the time and effort she's put into building this bunker. She wants
Mhm.
everyone to live in it. I mean, maybe when she passes, do what the hell you want. But whilst I'm alive, nobody's leaving. And no more
Mhm.
discovery. We're all staying here, and that's
How long? I
where
don't know anything about nuclear winters, but how long do you think that they last? Like,
no
because that
idea, no
eventually
idea.
goes away, right? Dissipates.
Honestly, I have no idea. Like, like places like Chernobyl. I mean, that still
Mhm.
has radiation to this day, and God knows when that
Mhm.
bloody nuke landed.
Right.
And it's
And
still in the
same with
wintry
Fukushima,
area. Yeah, so
and that happened more
it's hard.
recently.
So
But
yeah, it's it's hard to say. Yeah,
mhm.
but I'm gonna give episode 1. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I think it would have got a lower mark if it wasn't for the very end of the episode, which made me realize, holy shit, like, this is
Yes.
not what I expected. I mean,
Yes.
this was, and we're going somewhere different now.
And
And
I wholeheartedly agree. Like I felt like I was in a video game all of a sudden, and I'm like, yes, this is amazing. So I will also do 8 out of 10.
okay, episode 2, the wonder of what they were dealing with and the flashbacks there. Like, we were going back 12 years, and I have to say they've
Mm-hmm.
done a really good job with the aging of the characters, because sometimes you can go back 12, 15 years and the fuckers don't even look like they've aged one bit, or
Mm-hmm.
de-aged one bit. But you can see that the aging of the characters in this, but just the fact that you saw the very early stages of the world that they were about to live in, and getting all these brains together to help develop this world and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the early stages of the investigations and stuff, and now knowing where you truly are, it was a good episode as well. I'll give it an 8. What about yourself?
Mm-hmm. I think 9. I like that. Like they really did do a good job with all of those kinds of like special effects or whatever you want to call them, because like James Marsden in one part of it looks like he was his normal age now, and then the next he looks, I almost didn't, I was like fighting with myself, is that James Marsden, because he looked so much older. Like that kind of stuff was great. The seeing like how the dome is in the mountain, it was kind of cool, and seeing people walk around on top as it was being built and stuff, that was kind of cool. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was a good episode. James Marsden, man. I mean, you talk about people not aging. I mean, he generally looks. He's been looking the
Yes.
same for years. Um, Episode 3, I'm going to give a 7. I think it got saved a little bit by but we it got saved a little bit by the twist at the not the but the sort of cliffhanger at the end. But it was we kind of find out why Xavier has a grudge against the president because obviously his wife. You kind of piece that together with the second one once you know that they're in a dome and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
you got true confirmation and with those particular flashbacks as well and all of
Yeah.
that. But I didn't really, and obviously with the new president and all of those sort of things. But and they stopped making it about Xavier's being the guy who might have killed the president or not. And it just they almost moved on from it. Like, okay, the president's
Mm-hmm.
been killed, let's move on and all that, which is a bit weird. So, which is why I give it a 7. How about yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't like I don't think the relationship necessarily needed to happen and with the therapist. So yeah, probably a 6 or a 7. Like I mean, her whole thing was just to tell him that to look after Billy, and then what else was the rest of that for? I don't know. Other than maybe a
Well,
distraction, it just
yeah.
didn't feel as like we got one piece of information for a whole 40-minute episode or however long it was. So I
You know what?
agree.
What's slipping my mind as well is obviously the relationship between Xavier's daughter and the president's son. That was
Mm-hmm.
also filling up some of the time, and we saw that develop, in the
Mm-hmm.
last couple of episodes as well.
So
Episode 4. Sorry, go on.
is that going to matter in the future? That's if it matters and they're helping to unravel the mystery, then yes, that matters. But otherwise, I just it's
I'm
again,
a
it
bit
just
worried about the
feels.
age difference. He seems a bit too old to be, She seems like she looks like
Oh,
she's
in
like
real life,
13. Well, no. I mean, like if they're having some sort of like he looks like
yeah.
he's like 17. She looks like she's 13, 14.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know exactly how old she is, but I know when I was that age, I looked younger than I was because I joined the military. I joined the army at 16, and when I was in basic training, everybody kept asking me how old I was. So maybe she just looks younger than she is. I do
fair
think she's
enough.
supposed to be like a sophomore, maybe.
Okay, totally. And yeah, look, I do feel like their friendship, their relationship, whatever it may be, it will have a part to play. When it comes to what happens in latter episodes. But a bond is created, and like I said, the kids, the son of the president, he probably wants retribution for what happened to his dad,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't want the person who's doing all of this shit to maybe do it to anybody else, which includes his friend, whether it be
Mm-hmm.
his friend's dad. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's very
episode
true.
4. Episode 4 is kind of tropey in the sense that when you have a significant episode about a character, by the end of the episode, that character dies. That happens quite a lot, actually, if you look at it. But
Mm-hmm.
regardless, I thought it was a great episode. I really did. I thought this was a really good episode. Very, it kind of dragged a little bit in whether Billy was or wasn't, but then we found out that even though he wasn't, he still wasn't guilt free, which was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
He is culpable for certain things that he, in my personal opinion, he can't walk away from. He did bad things. He killed innocent people, for who didn't deserve it. So in a way, his death was almost justified. But at the same time, I think he was looking for retribution. Kind of realized all of that sort of stuff. The girlfriend being the killer, yeah, I kind of saw that to a degree. I hate to say it, but I don't hold anything against that. They really tried to make her a sweet, innocent little girl. Yeah, she works
Mm-hmm.
for the fucking Secret Service. you know,
Right.
she's not that sweet, innocent. You know,
Exactly.
yeah, but yeah, it was Billy's episode. That episode. With a bit of Xavier trying to get between the lines. The moments that we're in the carnival, and it's daytime and it's nighttime, yet they can't fucking find each other. Please,
I know.
like
I'm like, this carnival cannot be this big. Where, like, why can't you see each other? And your daughter's here, and you said hi to her at one point, and then walked away from her. So it can't be this big.
yeah, and the daughter was chilling with Billy for a little while as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Regardless though, I those moments were very fleeting. I don't want to take it away from the episode. I thought it was a good
No.
episode, and it really truly cemented that Sinatra is the bad of this episode of this
Mm-hmm.
series. You know, and I'm sure she's got more people tucked away in her pocket to use. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Xavier, he'll be stretching thin for his allies. Yeah, I give episode 4 and 8 as well. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'd say probably 9. I do like all of the character building, even though he died already of Billy. I liked them showing everything about his life because we kind of needed that. I watched you guys know I watched From, and there was a few episodes in the last season that were just like, oh my god, you're not telling me anything. So we got a lot of information, and I like that. So
Yeah. So far, I would give the first half of season 4 an 8. I mean, an 8
mm-hmm.
number. I've used that 4 times out of 5. Out of 5. But I think that it's a standard number. I'm very much impressed with what I'm watching here. It's not only an interesting show, but it really. I'm glad I didn't spoil myself going into this. I just saw a couple of clips and then started watching it, gave it a shot, and I thought, wow, this is not what I expected, and that in itself is
Exactly.
is what raises the
Makes
bar
it
for this
worth it.
particular show.
Hmm.
Yeah. I like the
Yeah.
soundtrack as well, the music. I'm not sure if you like the
Yeah, I was
music in
gonna say,
this.
other than Poison, no, the music is
Well,
great. The actors are all of them are really good actors. They have a few big people like James Marsden and Sterling K. Brown, so that's kind of cool. Um, so yeah, for me so far it's a 9 out of 10.
I was wondering at the very beginning of watching this show, like half an hour in, I think I was like, why the hell is this show called Paradise? And then obviously you figure out at the very end why, because
Mm-hmm.
of where they're living, which is a form of paradise in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't necessarily, my idea of paradise is some sort of luxurious beach with clear waters and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
fair enough, this could be a paradise for some people as well. I look forward to seeing where this show goes. Anything you want to add before we wrap things up?
I hope that when they do finally escape, that Billy at least move that lady's body. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, good point. Now, regarding next week, I'm not sure if you want to do this every week or we want to, if you want to just do the next 4 weeks. I guess me and Winnie will decide come closer to the time. But I hope you have enjoyed this review of the first 4 episodes. We've had a great time. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest social media channel you never heard of. Take care now, and bye bye.
Bye.